so long it's like alchemy.
Here we go. One of the more intriguing individual matchups in the league, KD versus the Greek freak Giannis Antetokounmpo. No Steph Curry, so it'd be these two mano-a-mano, the backdoor lob to Eric Bledsoe. What's he, 6'1", still getting up? And what's so intriguing about Giannis is he's still figuring out how to play basketball, but his physical gifts are unparalleled. Never mind a Euro step. That's a Greek gather all the way to the rim, galloping. But KD's like, not so fast, youngster. I'm still the most elite scorer in the game today. Look at him get to the rim, and then he finishes like a little man, the scoop. Look at him check the scoreboard. He's like, oh, that's bullshit. That's a foul. He wanted that. But look at the drunken style of one Nick Young. Then he pulls up from 35 to end the quarter. Got it. Most of y'all probably forgot the Warriors have Swaggy P. He ain't been too swaggy this season. It was good to see him hit that. And then look at this. Loses the ball. There's the instincts. That can't be taught. He hasn't really learned the tricks of the trade yet, but he's such a natural. KD's like, let me learn you something real quick. The little hezzy and then the swoop to the rim for the Reaper. Iron sharpens iron. Doesn't that look a little familiar? Taking the chef's tricks and finishing with emphatic fashion at the hoop. And he might not even have been the best Warrior all night long. Look at Draymond with the play action fake on the inbounds play and gets the dunk. He had 21, 10, and 7. Now, peep the spin move. Y'all forget, he's the youngest of the core four. Look at the tilt, finishing with the right hand, and he's quietly polishing his offensive game and really was the second scorer for this Golden State team, missing Steph Curry. Giannis baseline drive, and I will say one thing, Jason Kidd has them playing hard. I don't know about the X's and O's, but they play hard, and the new Shane Battier, Malcolm Brogdon, back-to-back threes in Milwaukee starting to think they can beat the champs. Draymond caught in no man's land. Tony Snell top of the key. Does he got it? Bucks have the lead going into the fourth quarter. And I'm telling y'all, if David West played 10 more minutes a night, he'd win Sixth Man of the Year. Draymond right down the pipe. But David West was a catalyst to start this fourth quarter with KD resting. And then down the stretch, you're dead if you let him catch it there, right? The heat zone, the Dirk Diggler fade, and he drops it. They're not done yet. How about fading out to the top? There's nothing you can do. Hand in the face, it's ending up in the same place. KD splashes home the win in Milwaukee. All right, man, no complaints about that game. That was entertaining. It was competitive, and it was well played. There wasn't a whole lot of sloppiness involved in it. Kevon Looney is from Milwaukee, and he got in the game in the first quarter, and he had a huge impact. He had 6 offensive rebounds, and he had a play where he like sprinted the length of the court to try to have a chase down block. I'd never seen him move like that. It looked painful, man, but I admired him for his energy and enthusiasm, and he had an effect on the game. He struggled a bit in pick and roll defense in the second half. They kind of abused him, but he was a factor in getting the win, and he took Bell's minutes. Bell didn't play, and I think this was planned. Mind you, there's a back-to-back in Toronto tomorrow, and so Bell is going to be like that pent-up dog in the house, right? So he's going to have a ton of energy, and I'm assuming Bell fits that matchup better with this new-look Toronto team and all their athletes. I expect to see Bell get those minutes. Let's talk a little bit about Giannis. I talked about how, his instincts are there, right? He naturally kind of falls into the right play, but you can tell that his skills aren't that high. And I know that he started basketball late in life, so I don't think he'll ever catch up to the skill level of a Porzingis or a Karl Anthony Towns or an Anthony Davis. But what he has above them is he just has that nasty, right? He has the nasty, and then he has physical attributes that we've never seen before. And we've seen guys with strength and length and athleticism like that, but he uses it. Right? You always hear that old saying of he looks like Tarzan, but he plays like Jane, right? There's none of that going on with Giannis. He uses those attributes. But I would caution about having him shoot the 3 ball. It looks very unnatural to me. And I wouldn't mind seeing him go spend a summer with Hakeem in Houston, right? And have him just become super elite because he gets into the paint like a guard, right? He handles the ball, but then once he gets into the paint, it almost turns into a back to the basket big man game. So I think that he should just polish that and continue to become elite around the basket rather than focus on a very unnatural looking jump shot. And then as far as Milwaukee goes moving forward, I understand what they're trying to do. They've surrounded him with a bunch of 3-and-D guys, right? But they're not the greatest of shooters. And then you got to see what Jabari is going to look like. This is the second knee injury, and they're really kind of opposites, right? Because Jabari is way more skill than physical attributes. I know he's long and he has a good first step, but he's so highly skilled at basketball. So I think even, off of 2 knee surgeries, I think he's still going to have those basketball skills. But ultimately, to get to being a contender, they're going to have to make some sort of 3-for-1 or 2-for-1 trade and get another star player alongside Giannis. So I heard a rumor, I don't know if y'all have known this, but I don't know what the temperature was in Milwaukee. I know it's going to be near frigid in Toronto, but apparently Clay is the guy that the weather affects the most. If it's really cold, Clay don't like that shit, right? He's a Cali boy, and it seems to affect his game. But in this game tonight, that wasn't the only thing that affected him. They were super physical off the ball. Brogdon, that kid, was it Brown? Some rookie came in, and they were just playing handsy and just getting away with a lot off the ball, dislodging and breaking his rhythm. And so he really had a miserable game offensively. He was competitive. He didn't hold his head, but he couldn't find space, and his record of consecutive 3-pointers was ended. He didn't get a 3-ball. And Draymond really picked up the load. I mentioned it in the video. He's quietly polishing his game, driving to the basket. You saw the ferocious dunk, but he's got the floaters. We've talked about that. And then those in-between shots are going to be perfectly fine for him. Now, schedule loss tomorrow. That's what I like that stat. ESPN has highlighted schedule losses now. That's kind of dope. Obviously a back-to-back. Toronto's rolling. But here's the thing that you can't take into account. Steph Curry begged Steve Kerr to play tonight, and they were like, no, chill, right? And then I'm assuming you're going to have Drake courtside with his number 35 and number 30 tattooed on his arm, right? So I think that's going to give the Warriors extra juice, and you're going to have an enthusiastic Steph Curry who's like, he just got back to hooping, and then he had to sit out again, so I think he'll be extra charged up in front of that Toronto crowd, and that's one of the better arenas to play in, right? It's going to be a sellout, so I think it's going to be a very competitive game, but you're going to see that Toronto, not only are they building their team to beat the Cavs, Ujiri, he's building his team to beat the Warriors. They have a lot of switch-em, versatile young guys, so it's going to be a telling game to see where they stand, and I can't call it, man, but I'm going to be back with that one tomorrow. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.